Hey CJ, nice to talk to you, man. How you keeping?
I'm good. I'm good. Busy as always. I'm one of those people who finds it really hard to stay still.
Yeah,
And obviously this year with everything going tits up as far as touring,
of course.
I've kept myself really busy. I'm a dad. I'm a uh, sole trader, a member of a band. I make hot sauce. So it's yeah. I'd be lying if I said I'm finding solitude, peace, and quiet.
Well, you mentioned being busy, like like you say, I can see across your socials and all that you have been busy, like you say, with your hot sauce and everything else. And you guys you're right. You're basically set to launch Siege tomorrow. It lands, doesn't it? Is it tomorrow it comes out?
Yeah, my new solo album, Siege, yeah, mini album. It
Yeah,
actually, it goes digital tomorrow.
yeah.
CDs just turned up today, so I'll be packaging over the next few days, and then they'll all be shipping next week. But no, it's I needed to make this album because it's a really angry sort of hardcore punk. There's a tinges of metal in there, but it's me just venting. This year's been a one of those venting type of years, isn't it?
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Got plenty to get angry about, I think.
Definitely. I mean, when you dropped State of Us, I mean that was like you say, it's real guttural punk and roll. As a bass player, I love the bass line on that track, man. It's
Cheers, man.
absolutely like, oh no, no worries. I mean, when you were set to drop solo stuff, I'm a huge fan of the Wildhearts and you, so I was always gonna be up my street. But like you say, there's people get negative about aggression, I think, but sometimes it's a positive thing, and I think that when there's a
Yeah,
good reason and a right reason to be angry, then it does going to feed into music. And I think,
yeah. Folks who know me and know, what I've been through this year, especially with my family. With,
mm,
both my parents being in nursing homes now,
oh
and
man,
my mum was diagnosed. My dad has dementia. My mum was diagnosed with dementia
oh man,
a few months ago, and she caught COVID-19 as well. I um and my dad almost died as well
oh
about
sorry to
three
hear
four
that.
months ago. So he's on his way out. I doubt if he'll last another year, not let alone another month or two. But I haven't been able to see him for about probably 2 months now,
Oh
and
man,
it's really hard. Obviously, my dad is the last time I Skyped with my dad, or
yeah,
he didn't know who I was,
yeah,
and
it's
it's
horrible.
heartbreaking. But my mum's going down that same tunnel as well, and I can see what's coming for her because I've been through it with my dad already. But to have it happen to both your parents, in amongst all the shit what's going on in the world,
Yeah.
I, I ain't gonna make an album with nice
No,
pop
you're not going to
tunes.
make a peace loving album, are you? Really?
I mean,
With that
fuck,
going on.
there's a place for folk. It's not for me.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not for me.
I,
But like you say,
I
everything's got its place.
yeah, I needed to exercise some. There's a lot of passion and anger in me, from what's happened this year, and I've channeled it through my music. It's a good place, a
Yeah.
positive place to channel those sort of feelings.
It is, but I felt like when you guys recorded Renaissance Man, that you were like venting all that side of things throughout everything that you guys have been through collectively. That seemed,
Yeah,
and that came out as an amazing record. So I'm sure Siege will do the rest, do the same when I hear the rest of that. But
I think people will be because I'm kind of known as being a man of melody.
yeah,
Especially my solo stuff. A lot of it's very poppy and has big hooks. But I mean, this album is definitely. I mean, it's a hardcore punk album, and it's I've kind of found my voice as well. So nothing is really double tracked. Everything's just single tracked, and it's brutal. It's in your face, and I'm pulling no punches. I think it will surprise people. I mean, if they're expecting a pop punk album, or
yeah,
they're definitely going to be
they're
disappointed.
going to be disappointed.
I don't really care, man. They can listen to Busted or something like that. They won't have fun.
So, are there any songs other than State of Us that you're particularly like intrigued to see people's responses to, or?
Yes, there's a song called Shipwreck which ends the album, and
Okay, cool.
it's my description of the year. This year has been a shipwreck of the year, and it's a song most people have heard the album and said it's their favorite one.
Yeah,
So it's just it's summing up there was events during this year where people could have changed for the better. Like State of Us is me
yeah.
generalizing that we're all a bunch of clowns because we did nothing. There was gateway moments during this year
Oh
when the
yeah,
human race could have
United.
evolved,
Yeah,
and we
moved forward.
didn't. We didn't, and if anything, you know, we magnified our flaws. So, you know, this album reflects on how I'm feeling, and you know, I'm not attacking anyone, I'm attacking myself and
Yeah,
everyone.
of course.
You know, it's you know, we're a bunch of fucking assholes. We just are. You know? The
It's
sooner
the human nature, isn't it?
the better.
Yeah. Like you say, there's some good that's come out of lockdown, like art wise and music wise and that kind of
It's
thing.
always gonna be good and bad. Always going to be good and bad. But we've had some monumental changes happen this year
Hmm.
as a species, and a lot of it hasn't been for the better.
No, it hasn't. Like slightly off the cuff from the COVID side of things, but when the George Floyd thing happened and the Black Lives Movement matter happened, and I thought this is just something that should be there. That
Yeah,
there shouldn't be this divide in this day and age. It's ridiculous that it already is. And I've got some people I know across the scene, both through the radio show, through friendships, and through my festival that I put on. And to see some of the stuff, I was like, man, you've got to go. You've just,
yeah.
you know, there was a lot of things I was like, man, do you realise what you're saying? And like you say, it's
I,
a chance for
I don't
people
think.
to unite and stuff, and
Yeah,
to cause more division.
it's funny, like, you know, with the far right and the far left, their attitudes are really similar. You know,
Yeah,
obviously, you know,
yeah,
they're far,
well, they're opposites, but
right, yeah, but they have the same sort of like blinkered sort of
yeah, sort
you
of
know,
tunnel vision on both sides, isn't
anger. You know, and there's a line in State of Us where I say diplomatic embrace, and we could have embraced
there? Yeah,
the world with some diplomacy, and you know, and it's, as I said, there's been monumental moments which have just shown humans, you know, are just, Jesus, what is wrong with you? You know, and there's been things when I've you know, obviously being a man of color, you know, I'm half African, half Indian, and you know, yeah, racism's bad, but it was a lot worse when I came back to Britain in the 80s, you
yeah,
know, and I had, you know, the whole NF thing and the skinhead thing. And, you know, I'd like to think the world's getting better. And, you know, part of me thinks the world's getting better, but you could speed it up a bit, you know.
yeah,
People
definitely.
should be more aware now. You shouldn't have to be told.
No, there should be a thing. Like I say, like my cousin's mixed race, and I was chatting to her about stuff when it was all kicking off because she was getting like awful graffiti like scrawled on her. She's a hairdresser, and she was
Yeah,
getting this crap scrawled on her salon doors and stuff, and it was all going too far the other way. And I'm like, how has we not changed from back then to
yeah.
2020? How has that not progressed?
Well, I mean, you look at the people when the lockdown started, the people buying all the toilet paper and
Yeah,
stuff, and rice and pasta,
yeah,
and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, there's a song on the album called TP, which is, you know, TP stands for toilet paper.
yeah.
It's a really short song. It's only 40 seconds long, but it's about those fucking arseholes who were stockpiling fucking toilet paper. I mean, that is just, it's beyond ridiculous.
Isn't it?
I
You,
mean,
it
of
was
all the things to stockpile, you think the world's going to fucking end. Toilet paper?
yeah, yeah.
Fuck, fuck.
Like it was almost laughable what people were doing, man. Anytime I went, you know, supermarket to shop me and my wife, and you know, you're going out doing your normal, like we're just buying what we would buy every week, and you can see
Yeah.
people like you say with like stacks of toilet paper and rice and pasta and milk and eggs, and you're like, what scenario are you trying to prep for? Like you're going to be here next week buying the same shit.
I mean, there's gonna be like a lot of people with a lot of shit in their attics or cellars, aren't there, right now?
Yeah,
I
there
mean,
is.
they must be sick of wholemeal pasta. But
So did you have like the album, like the time plan to do the album before the pandemic hit then, or was this because of COVID and not being able to tour with anything, you just,
yeah, I tell you what happened. It's like we finished, we did our last shows in February, and then, you know, lockdown appeared, and Ginger was saying, right, we need to think about the next album. So he said, basically, go away, everyone write some songs. And I demoed up 4 songs, which were going to go on the next Water album, which we were hoping to start in September
okay,
and drop an album either the end of the year or very early next year. And things just plans went astray, and we just
yeah,
couldn't get our shit together to go in the studio in September and do the album. So I had these songs which are all about lockdown, and all the Wild Up plans got put back, and we're not dropping a new album until September now
okay,
next year. These songs won't mean anything in September
No,
next year. I don't want to be raging about what happened a few months ago
no,
towards the end of next year. So I basically said, right, I'm going to take these songs and I'm going to put out a mini album. And Ginger was, yeah, put them out, they need to be heard. And yeah, hence, so I recorded another 4 songs and it became the mini album. And the Wildhearts regroup in the near future and start working on another album. But these songs are about the lockdown and what's happened this year. So they really need to come out this year to have any sort of poignancy.
Well, yeah, to have that, like any kind of impact, you've got to talk about it now. You can't talk about it 6 months down the line, like you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you lose, you know, you hit while the iron's hot, you know, and you know, I'm kicking, I'm punching out here, and you know, by September next year, I could be on a beach in Goa, you know, smoking weed and playing the fucking sitar. You know?
You're not going to want to run at that point.
I'm not that lazy. I could never meditate. I'm just not lazy enough.
Music's my meditation, man. It always has been. I tried getting into meditation. A mate of mine's a bit of an old hippie, and I was going through some things, and he was trying to say, do this, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to go to a gig and thrash it out. I'm
gonna piss off hippie. Hippie is another word for lazy motherfucker. What you want to do is sit down and smoke some fucking weed and go on. Even the music you listen to sounds lazy. Sounds like the fucking musicians are going to sleep.
It does. I go with that. But you said
I'm only joking. There's me with like Kali and Ganesh all over me. You don't get more hippie than me, man. I'm like a fucking guru.
You didn't get those tattoos till quite recently, did you? Those ones on your...
I've had a few little ones. I had my first tattoo I had when I was 16.
Yeah.
And well, how old am I now? 52. So it was quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
But no, the first big one I had was when my son was born. About well, he's 6. I had it when he was 5.
Oh, okay.
So I started collecting these for about 5 years. Yeah. So it's like I really like the paint as well. I love the art and the way they look, and it's a way of. I mean, some people say it's a form of self-expression. Some people say it's a form of self-mutilation. You know, and I'd like to think a lot of people don't frown on tattoos anymore, but they do. They still do.
Yeah. Like I was getting tattooed yesterday, and I was getting, well, I'm starting to turn this all into like a sleeve. I had the
brilliant
job, and I basically 10 years ago I lost my dad to cancer. And
sorry to hear that.
Thanks, man. And I put on a yearly gig called Just Push Play in his memory, with loads of bands on. Last few years, it's really kind of kicking up. In fact, last 2 years, or next year now, because we've had to move it to next year. We've got a couple of bands on that. I know you know very well. We've got Those Damn Crows headline in it next year.
Yeah.
And last year we had Massive Wagons headline. So it's really, really taken up again. So yeah, that's why I've got my wagon wheel.
So brilliant!
Taken over from that.
I mean, I find when I'm getting tattooed, it's obviously I can't move around, so it's like almost like a form of meditation.
Yeah.
For me being stuck, but I find the pain really cleansing.
Yeah, I know. I do.
And yeah, a lot of people say that. Yeah, and it hurts. I mean, anyone who says it doesn't hurt, you know, it's like they're lying. But I find it's a really, I don't know, it's almost like going to church. You know, it's like I feel like I'm cleansed after I've been tattooed.
I think that's the thing. It's also like you say, you can't move. Normally, a tattooist is like concentrating on what they're doing. Obviously, you might have a bit of a chat, but generally you're in silence. Especially like if you haven't. I mean, I was there all day yesterday, so I was there from like 10 in the morning until 6 in the evening, and so it's a long time to just sit there. And like I think it's that thing of, yeah, the pain's cleansing, but also you time with your own thoughts. And there's no one in this day and age just sits and does nothing anymore. We're all, you know, addicted to them or whatever, doing things.
I don't know. I know a few people who do sweet FA. Yeah. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you could have a life so uninteresting that all you do is sit down and do nothing all day.
I can't imagine,
you know, horses for courses and all that.
Yeah, different people like different things, I suppose, buddy. So with the album, did you self-produce that then, or was someone coming into?
Of all my solo albums, I record them on my own and in my home setup, and then replace the drums with a live drummer. So the last 3 solo albums has been I've used Jason Bold from Bullet for My Valentine. He plays.
Oh right, yeah.
So he plays on Siege as well. But it is me working on my own on all the songs, and then I'll finish them. replace the drums, and then I'll mix them with Dave Draper, who's worked with the Wild. He just did the last the live album the Wild Hearts just released. He's done that. And he's done about 4 or 5 albums with Ginger as well. And Dave, this is the 3rd album Dave's worked with me on. So, but the majority of the work is me on my own, you know, in my home studio, and just torturing myself.
Speaking of torture, though, I love the album cover, mate.
Oh, Josh, my little boy.
I was going to say, is that Josh on the album cover?
Yeah. That's the picture. I took it in Sainsbury's in Harrogate about 3 years ago. He had a huge tantrum because I wouldn't buy him a 24-pack box of ice lollies.
Oh yeah.
So, he threw a tantrum, and I took the picture, and the actual woman coming towards me, it wasn't a clown. That's my face on it. She didn't look like that, but she just looked at me, and she was so disgusted that I wasn't picking up my son, and I was just taking pictures. And then I looked at her and I said, I think this will make a great album cover one day. And then I picked up Josh, and yeah, it's an album cover now. So you get given certain moments in life, and if you don't embrace them, they'll never come back again. Yeah.
No, when got the press release sent through, I mean, I've got the album on pre-order, so I'm looking forward to that to landing. But when the press release came through and I saw the album cover, I thought, that is brilliant. Right. We've all seen that scene at some point. I've had it out on my Netflix and stuff.
It's real. It's real. You know, you can't stage a picture like that.
No.
Yeah. Even, I mean, when you see it on the vinyl or blown up, you've seen the lady's got a "I love Iceland," like, you know, Iceland the shop. Oh, yeah, if it was me, I'd put "I love Waitrose" on it.
Different classes of people, man. So you mentioned, obviously, as well as doing the solo album, you've been absolutely busy with loads of stuff, man. You've been doing your hot sauce. A mate of mine has been. He knows I like my spice. I missed the order because they flew off the shelf, man. Your hot sauce.
They did, yeah. I mean, I've had a slight problem with a few of the bottles of the ketchup and the really mild sauce Mojo. A couple of the bottles, when people open them, have exploded, and we traced it down to yeast getting into the bottles. But it's the manufacturers who they've had to stop making sauce at the moment to try and sort out what's actually going on. Yeah, so it's they've sent a couple of bottles to the lab, so I'm waiting for the lab reports. Yeah, the old lady who you know was rushed to hospital, she has recovered. It wasn't blood, it was ketchup.
That's all right.
But no, it's a worry because they need to get to the bottom of this and do some investment. I can't even say the word. You need to investigate what was going on, and it's hit maybe say probably 10 bottles out of every 300. So it isn't like it's across the board. Most people's bottles are fine, but even one bottle is one too many. So I've stopped production at the moment until we find out what's going on. Yeah, so I think people might have a bit of a weight on their hands for some more sauce, but it's always good to cut off the supply and leave them wanting more.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Now, a mate of mine was saying about it because he managed to get a bottle, and I thought I liked spicy food until I lived with an Indian lad at university, and then I realised I didn't like spicy food that much. I feel like he taught me how to like spicy food properly.
The hotter it is for me, the better, you know. And I mean, I've always put hot sauce or chili powder or chili flakes on my food.
Yeah, I must admit I'm the same. I used to quite like. I mean, I've always been a fan of it. And then, like I say, I lived with an Indian lad for a year, and it was a case of man up and get used to it, at least. So,
so I mean, I can understand. Like, I mean, I might just forgive like the toilet paper people if they were eating like Vindaloos every day or something. Yeah, I understand why you're hoarding toilet paper.
Yeah, there'd be a reason for it then, wouldn't there?
Yeah, I'd understand that. Yeah.
So as well as that, obviously, as you say, Wildheart just released your 30-year Itch Live album. Again, was that planned before lockdown, or was that just a?
Yeah. I mean, that album was recorded in 2019. So it was recorded on the Renaissance Man tour.
Oh right. Yeah.
So we had it lying around, and you know it was always going to come out at some point. And I think it's good it came out, you know, when it did, just to remind everyone, you know, what they're missing. Yeah. You know, and give them some hope that you know, things might return to some sort of normality. But you know, I'm not holding my breath on the live scene coming back straight away. I think it's going to I think it's going to take 2021 for the world to kind of find its feet again. And I think, 2022 is when some sort of normality will,
It's going to take a while to recover, it?
Yeah, I think the world's changed, completely, and we're never going to go back to the way things were, and so I think everyone's going to have to adapt and kind of embrace whatever the new normality is. And I was talking with Ginge and Richie last night. We had a band meeting with our management company, and we were all taking the vaccine when we were offered it. None of us, we don't mind being controlled by Bill Gates or having 5G nanobots in our system. This way, we've had a fucking lot worse in our system.
Let's say that was one of the last gigs I went to before lockdown. Was you guys at the Forum in London? That was one of the last ones I went to before lockdown.
Was that with the Backyard Babies?
Yeah,
that was a great gig, man. That was a really good
night. Really good night. We had a lot of laughs. My mate Daryl, he doesn't look dissimilar to Dragon of the Backyard Babies. He looks quite similar to him. And we were in the pub down the road before the doors were opening. We were having a drink and we were catching up with a few friends of ours. And all of a sudden we were sort of aware of this bloke just sort of like stood at the sidelines of like our group of people while we were chatting and stuff. And eventually he tapped Daryl on the shoulder and he's like, "Sorry, Dragon, I don't mean to disturb you, but can you sign this?" And like handed him his gig ticket, and Daryl's like, I'm not Dragon, mate."
But I mean that night was it was that whole tour, us and the Backyard Babies, because we toured in Germany with them before we.
So you went out in Germany first with them, didn't you? And then
yes, yeah, but we were like the opening band in Germany because we were unknown out there, and then things kind of swapped around when we came back to Britain. But it's just they're such lovely guys, and we shared a tour bus as well for the whole tour.
Oh, nice.
It was a really, really good tour to end the year. We didn't know our year was ending then, but
yeah, of course.
It was a really, really good tour. And we ended on a high, and we had so much going on this year. I mean, we had our first tour of South America was supposed to happen in September.
Oh.
We had every like kind of big rock festival we were playing on in Europe as well as the UK, and everything got pulled, and it's just. I mean, this year is it's a fucking shit brick. I wrote a song about it.
I'm looking forward to that album landing, man. I can't wait to hear that song.
You should have sent. I would have sent you a digital advance copy, man. You could have heard it before we did this. Yeah.
That's all right, man. No worries at all.
I'm just gonna ask. My days of handing out my album to members of my family. Those days ended about 25 years ago. When I make an album, they're just like, "Oh, it's another one." Not really.
Not for me, mate. Not for me. Not for me, buddy.
It's I mean, it's my job. So when you're doing it for long enough, people around you kind of it's just a normality, innit? You go on tour, you release an album. You go on tour, you release an album. You split up, you fall out. Have love with the rest of your bandmates, fall in love again. It's just normality.
Has your boy ever seen you live then? He's just seen you play.
Once. We did what's the metal festival called is it Bloodstock?
Oh, Bloodstock, yeah.
Yeah, we did Bloodstock. We filled in. A band couldn't do it, and the organisers asked if we'd fill in at short notice, and we did. We did the gig, and the festival was amazing. It was such a great festival, but it's proper metal bands, and but we went down a storm, and Josh came. That's the first time he's ever seen me live. Because it's like that type of festival where you can bring kids.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it was a real moment. It's my little 5-year. He's 6 now, but he was 5 at the time. Yeah. Watching me on stage, and it kind of clicked with him. It clicked what I did because he wasn't ever quite sure about what I was doing, and his teachers. I remember his teacher coming up to me going, "Are you a dancer?" And I went, "No." And he goes, "Well, Josh described you as a dancer who does star jumps."
Star jumps.
Yeah. So and he knows. I mean, he's really into rock music and metal. I'm trying to get him more into punk than the metal side of things. But if he can embrace both worlds, I'll be very happy. But
embrace both worlds, mate. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting good. He's going, I'll be in the car, and he go, I'm going to put some punk on. And then I put McFly on, and we go mental.
Proper stuff.
Like the hardcore stuff, you
Real
know. Yeah.
hardcore, yeah.
I got it. I mean, I listen to a lot of hip hop and rap as well. But
Yeah, me too.
when Josh was about 3 years old, you know, Riverside, the song Riverside,
Yeah,
Riverside, motherfucker. Dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun. So, and we're driving down the road, and I'm putting it on all the time. I go, Riverside, motherfucker. And then, I mean, my little 4-year-old, and I don't, you know, you just don't think he's taking it in.
No, you
But
don't
in
think it is.
Sainsbury's, and he turns around. I go, what do you want for dinner tonight, Jude? He went, Riverside, motherfucker. I've got to stop playing that.
Yeah. Oh, kids will drop you in it. My nephew did. I was in the car listening to Five Finger Death Punch, and didn't think anything of it. And then I dropped him off. We went out for the day, me and him, and all that, and then dropped him back off at my wife's sister's, and he is singing "Burn Motherfucker" by
Yeah.
500, and I'm going, oh no.
Yeah,
Leaving
you gotta watch it now. It's I mean, but he really loves, like, yeah, I mean, he likes Slipknot and Metallica, but he's really into the Clash.
No, that's cool.
And there's a ska punk band, got a really good girl singer, Instigators.
It's instigation, something like that.
No, they got what are they called? Interrupters.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. Really loves them. Really, I mean, they're a great ska band. So you know, he's having a good. Like me, his taste is quite broad. You know,
Yeah.
but,
That's
you
good.
won't hear any country though from me. No folk.
No folk, no country. Don't need them. Doesn't need them.
It's a great name for an album. Isn't it? No folk, no
No folk, no
country.
country. Here you go. It's a title for your next solo record.
Yeah. All my solo albums have 5-letter words.
Oh, that's true.
They're all Mabel, Robot, Blood, Siege. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can't have that.
Works for a Ginger solo album. We're the next acoustic record he does.
No, but he does folk and country. He loves it. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, he really, yeah. I never really wanted to be a cowboy. I'm too much of an Indian.
But as you say, it's been a bit of a tricky year to make plans. But what are your plans for the rest of the year and into next?
I mean, I could turn around the camera then. You'll see boxes and boxes of CDs which turned up today. And basically, I start packaging the new album because I do everything myself. My manager's coming over to help me, so I'm going to be turning up at the post office on Monday with 20 or 30 postage stamps and stuff. And then, I mean, Christmas is coming, so Josh is going to be off school next week. He breaks for Christmas holidays. My girlfriend lives down in Brighton, so I'm going to spend Christmas with her. So. I'll see. I co-parent Josh with my ex. So, but she's like 2 miles down the road, and we're like best friends. So we get on great. But the Wildhearts will regroup in February. So we've got some plans afoot, and then right now it's new album time. So I know Ginger's written a bunch of songs. I've got to demo up the 3 songs I want to put towards the album as well.
Oh, nice.
So it's recording, demoing. The Wildhearts regroup. We're going to start hopefully recording a new album sort of around about March time. So and then keeping our fingers crossed that we can tour in September, and we'll drop the album when we're touring in September. So
nice, man. I think I'll see you guys out on the road again. It really will.
I mean, we need to start touring. Our money, we make most of our bread and butter from touring.
Yeah, of course.
Because we've stopped touring, we're running on fumes. So, but we've survived because of how loyal our fans are. Ginger's putting stuff out. I'm putting stuff out. I'm not putting this out because I love it, but this is survival for us. We couldn't be furloughed. We've had no help from government, and my new album's coming out, but I'm trying to say something, but I'm also trying to live as well.
You got to make a living at the end of the day.
And I think a lot of people look at musicians and just think, all they want to do is have a good time and that. But no, all I want to do is pay my bills and feed my son, and put petrol in my Lamborghini. I had to sell the other 4. Come on, man! I've only got 6 cars left now.
Oh, no, is that all?
I had to downgrade to a 10-bedroom house as well. You know how hard it is.
Oh, The first world problems there, CJ.
I know. God, I mean, if I could buy any car I want, it would be an Aston Martin. I'm definitely an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
And yeah. So yeah, we wouldn't be talking if I was driving an Aston Martin.
No, that's very true.
I'm jacuzzi taking it fucking easy, mate.
Wouldn't we all, mate? Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
So we're going to play State of Us at the beginning of the interview. What song do you want us to air out on the interview with?
Well, you'll have the album by then, won't you?
Yeah, I'll have it by then, man.
Yeah. So, Shipwreck.
Yeah, let's do it.
Also dropping there's a little video as well coming out probably in the next few days as well for the song about toilet paper.
All right,
it's
cool.
a little cute video, yeah.
All right, we'll share that across the radio show social media pages.
There's no scat in it. There's no shit in it.
It's nothing too bad, though.
I draw the line at that sort of stuff, man. Yeah. I know my nickname's the Brown Sound, but yeah, it's the colour of my skin.
For very different reason. Oh, man.
We're good then.
Yeah, we're good, man, CJ. It's been an absolute pleasure, dude.
Oh, because I've got to literally leave in 5 minutes.
No worries, buddy. I'll let you
All
get.
right. Once the Wildhearts regroup and we start like living again, drop me a line. I'd love to do this again. All right.
Oh, sweet, man. That'd be great.
Yeah. Maybe when the Wildhearts album's out and stuff like that. And
yeah, man, I'll drop you a shout. That'd be awesome.
Hopefully we'll be working again. So know it's. I won't be in my home. You'll be talking to me on a tour bus somewhere, or a nice backstage area.
Nice.
All right. Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, CJ. Take care, man. Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye, man.